What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the juice. This is the juice from the Potomac River for the Major League Fishing Toyota Series. First stop in the Northern Division on the Potomac River. Had a decent event. Not up to my standards, but it's a decent event. I think I finished 55th out of just under 200 boats in the tournament, so did all right, but could have been better. But in this video, in the juice, I'm gonna take you through what I did: rods, reels, line, bait, all the tackle, all the juice that I used to catch bass on the Potomac River, and then maybe what I did wrong and how I could have improved my week, my tournament, how I could have done a little bit better. So that's all coming up. All right, so if you guys aren't familiar with my channel, The Juice, this is an ongoing series all year. You know, I do one of these recap videos after each tournament, and The Juice is presented by FishUSA. If you guys don't know what FishUSA is, it's a huge online tackle retailer. They're out of Erie, Pennsylvania area, so if you're on the East Coast, you order online, you're gonna get your stuff real fast, next day or two. That's real fast shipping. They got a huge selection on the website and in their pro shop in Erie, Pennsylvania. So if you need anything fishing, not just bass fishing, anything fishing, head on over fishusa.com and check out their huge selection. Now, all the baits that I used in this tournament, I'm going to have direct links in the description down below. So you're able to just go down there, click those links, and you're able to pick up the tackle that I used on the Potomac River. So let's start here on this side. This was a little bit all over the place. We'll start with the Lone Ranger spinning rod that was on the deck this week. You know, Potomac River, you think of grass, and there was lots of it. So I kind of went with the big sticks, braided line, big baits this week, and it didn't quite work out the way I hoped. But starting up right here is a favorite Hex 7'2" medium heavy spinning rod. Got 20-pound Seaguar Smackdown braid, and then I ran that to a 10-pound Seaguar Tatsu fluorocarbon leader. Then we went to this guy right here. This is the Trocar TK 180 finesse worm hook, and I was using this for just my Senkos. This was basically my follow-up bait whenever I would have a fish that hit my frog and missed it. So I would throw this over there. Caught a couple small fish, but I don't think I weighed any fish in on the Senko. But it was riding on the deck. Next up over here, we had two punching rods, or flipping rods. This one was a little bit lighter. This one, it's all twisted up here actually, because I got in a frantic frenzy at the end of the day trying to get everything together, and it twisted up. But I have the favorite Hex 7'8" heavy Mark Daniels signature series rod. I have 50-pound braid on here, and I was flipping around a half-ounce. It's a half-ounce Epic Tungsten and just a little creature bait on that. I was flipping that around in the grass. Never caught a fish on it, but it was there. And then I also had a similar setup with a bigger weight. This is a 1-ounce weight. And this is the favorite General Zach Burge signature series rod, 7'7" heavy. Again, 50-pound braid on there, Soleus XCS 8.1 to 1 gear ratio. You can get that bait in quicker. But those were my two flipping rods I had on the deck. Again, I don't even think I caught a fish on any of the flipping rods all week, but they were riding there on the deck ready to go. Next up, we had a jig. I did catch a couple fish on the jig. That's just an Epic Baits flipping jig right there. Little crawl type trailer. Favorite Hex 7'6" heavy 20-pound Seaguar Tatsu fluorocarbon. Just pitched him around some docks and some wood. Anytime I come to any piece of hard structure, I'd pick up the jig and flip him in there. Here we had another, well, I say another, this is the first one we're coming to, but this was kind of my backup winding worm rod. So this right here is a favorite Hex 7.6 heavy, 20-pound Seaguar Tatsu again, and I was running it down to a 3/16 ounce Epic Tungsten, and this is the Mardi Gras Keller weight. It's just a little bit of a flash whenever you're winding that swimming worm around. Trocar TK 130. This is actually the 5/0. It's a big hook. And I was throwing this guy right here. This is the new Guggen blazing worm. I'm really impressed with these right here. You know, I caught some fish on these at the James River last week, so I had some confidence heading on to the Potomac with this bait. And I caught quite a few fish on this bait right here, just winding it through the grass, whether it be, you know, up on the water column or down in a little bit deeper grass, just winding the speed worm or the blazing worm around. Got the job done and caught some fish this week. All right, so moving over here, this was my business end over here. This is my workhorse side. We have all of the favorite Pro Series on this side. So we have a Pro Series here, 7'3" heavy. I got 50-pound braid on here again. And then we had another one of the blazing worms. And this right here, I was throwing in that more heavy vegetation, the matted stuff, and just kind of swimming this through the matted vegetation, and was able to catch some key fish that when they weren't quite committing to the frog, I was able to go behind myself with this worm and catch a few. This one I had on an 1/8 ounce Epic Tungsten worm weight and a 5/0 Trocar TK 100, just a old school worm hook right there, throwing him around in that heavier vegetation like I was saying. All right, this guy right here was the star of the show for the week, just a frog. Old fuzzy butt frog right there. Threw him around most of the tournament and caught pretty much all the fish that I weighed in on that guy right there. This one I was throwing on a little bit lighter braid. This is 40-pound braid, and it's actually the new braid that Seaguar has out right now. It's called Tactics. It's a little bit thinner and a little bit rougher than the Smackdown, so it really helps cut through that vegetation a little bit better. I'm really impressed with that new braid, and looking forward to spending some more time with it as the summer goes on. But again, I was throwing the frog on the 7'3" heavy Pro Series. Actually, all 4 of these rods on this side were the 7'4" Pro Series. I had another frog rigged up here that I would follow up, but this guy over here got most of the calls this week. This guy was another backup 7'3" Pro Series, favorite Soleus XCS, 40-pound braid on there, and just get to work in the grass. Lastly, we had one more rod on this side, and that was just a swim jig. That's an Epic Bait swim jig right there. Same rod, favorite Pro Series, 7'3" heavy. I got a Soleus XCS on there. I had 15-pound Seaguar Invisex fluorocarbon on there. And that was for when the tide was a little bit higher. I could go over that grass and throw that swim jig first thing in the morning. And when it was a little bit cloudy the first day, I was able to throw that swim jig, catch a couple fish, and get the day rolling. But once that tide dropped out, I went with the frog and got the job done. All right, guys, well, that is the juice from the Potomac River. Looking back, I wish I would have done a couple things differently. You know, I kind of committed myself to one little area of the river. Looking back, I should have expanded and found another area or fished another area in the tournament. I had some other stuff from practice, but I never really went there. Just kind of committed there and hunkered down in the one area. And had I ventured out, especially on day 2, and looked at a different area or maybe some different baits, I might have caught that one key fish that I needed to jump up and be fishing on day 3. You know, I was literally one quality bite away from making it, but that's how it goes. So I appreciate you guys watching this video. Leave me any likes, comments down below. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget, direct links in this description down below to fishusa.com. And we'll see you guys next time.